You are now tuned in to DM3 Entertainment. And before we get started, I gotta hit you with the warning. Cassidy and the state of battle rap. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my history, and we're gonna talk about the coronavirus.
Guess what, bitch? Coronavirus! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Coronavirus! Shit is real! Shit is getting real! Shit is real!
Hold up.
Just hitting you in the head with that Cardi B coronavirus. You know, she was one of the original URL girls. Look it up. Now, seeing that everybody's stuck in the house right now, I figure I hit you in the head with a little comedy, but at the same time, it's dropping some jewels on your brain. And
Because that's what Americans do now. They're always willing to trade away a little of their freedom in exchange for the feeling, the illusion of security. What we have now is a completely neurotic population obsessed with security and safety and crime and drugs and cleanliness and hygiene and germs. There's another thing, germs. Where did this sudden fear of germs come from? In this country. Have you noticed this? The media constantly running stories about all the latest infections, salmonella, E. coli, hantavirus, bird flu, and Americans they panic easily, so now everybody's running around scrubbing this and spraying that and overcooking their food and repeatedly washing their hands, trying to avoid all contact with germs. It's ridiculous, and it goes to ridiculous lengths. In prisons, before they give you a lethal injection, they swab your arm with alcohol. It's true. It's true. It's true. Well, they don't want you to get an infection. And you can see their point. Wouldn't want some guy to go to hell and be sick. It would take a lot of the sportsmanship out of the whole execution. Fear of germs, why these... Besides, what do you think you have an immune system for? It's for killing germs. But it needs practice. It needs germs to practice on. So listen. If you kill all the germs around you and live a completely sterile life, then when germs do come along, you're not going to be prepared. And never mind ordinary germs, what are you going to do when some super virus comes along that turns your vital organs into liquid shit? I'll tell you what you're going to do. You're going to get sick, you're going to die, and you're going to deserve it because you're fucking weak and you got a fucking weak immune system. Now, all right, God damn it. Hey. All right. Let me tell you a true story about immunization, okay? When I was a little boy in New York City in the 1940s, we swam in the Hudson River, and it was filled with raw sewage, okay? We swam in raw sewage, you know, to cool off. And at that time, the big fear was polio. Thousands of kids died from polio every year. But you know something? In my neighborhood, no one ever got polio. No one, ever. You know why? Because we swam in raw sewage. It strengthened our immune systems. The polio never had a prayer. We were tempered in raw shit. And you know something? In spite of all that so-called risky behavior, I never get infections. I don't get them. I don't get colds. I don't get flu. I don't get headaches. I don't get upset stomachs. And you know why? Because I got a good, strong immune system, and it gets a lot of practice.
that was George Carlin. Don't panic. And here's some more advice from my brother, my Muslim brother, Lupe.
Also, just want to let you all know, in the midst of all of this that's going on, just remember that the coronavirus is you, right? And what I mean when I say that is that it doesn't make you panic. It doesn't drive you crazy. It doesn't push you to do extreme things. It makes you sick, right? But it shouldn't. Make sure that you are disciplined, that you're being sensible, that you're being consistent. Make sure that you're being vigilant, but don't go crazy, right? Don't start to panic. Don't start to over exaggerate things. Don't get caught up in myths and rumors and things of that nature. It's not necessary. Don't let this stress you out, right? To the point where you start doing crazy things, right? It's something that, is happening, is going to continue to happen. Embrace that. But also be prepared. And part of that preparation is mental. And that's the one thing you can do right now. Mentally prepare to walk and face this thing, not in a panic, and not full of fear and craziness, right? Be disciplined, and be good and look out for each other, right? At this point, for those who have, make sure you're looking out for those who have not, etc. So that's a message from me to you as this thing kind of blossoms and grows. Just want to send that shout out to my fans. And back to the dates. We are postponing the dates that were this weekend, as you can tell. And we'll keep you on post and up to date with any other news that comes up between now and then. You can check the Twitter page for the changes to those dates, and they'll eventually be changed on lupefiasco.com. All right, so y'all be good, y'all be safe, peace, and much love to you.
Okay, everybody, we got something from Cardi B, we got something from George Carlin, and we got something from my brother Lupe Fiasco. So remember, during this time of this little virus thing, everybody stay patient, everybody stay vigilant, and pray to the Most High, keep you straight, and everything be all right. So let's move on and let's jump into the next thing here. And that is, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my past so that y'all just don't think it's some crazy dude up here always talking. And I'm going to show you I got a little bit of history when it comes to hip-hop in general and connecting with battle rap. I figure I'd get into my history because we're going to be sitting around here during this little virus thing, give people something to listen to or something to do. Now, it all begins like this for me. I go all the way back to the beginning of hip-hop. I was born in Queens, but I grew up in the Bronx. My next door neighbor was a DJ. Back then, I didn't know what a DJ was. I asked my homeboy's brother, why your brother got 2 turntables and that funny thing in the middle? He said, he be doing these little jams in the park. So, for years, I didn't know what that was about. But back in like 84, I got into the whole hip-hop thing. I started breakdancing and listening to hip-hop on a regular basis because, in New York, you had Hot 97 and you had WBLS. And back then, we would sit home and we would listen to Mr. Magic, and we listened to Red Alert, we listened to Chuck Chill Out and Marley Marl, and that's how we really got into hip-hop. So I had cousins who were into the whole MC thing. But at that time, I was too shy to be jumping on nobody's mic and standing in front of no crowds and rapping. So I was like, let me do that thing that my neighbor's brother was doing with the turntables. And by that time, I knew what it was, with 2 turntables, a mixer, and a microphone. And with that, I was like, hey, I can do that. So when I got to high school, I had met this dude that was on the track team, and he was a DJ. So from there, I was like, it's my opportunity. I can learn how to DJ. So I got to be friends with homeboy. And then one day, he was like, I'm doing this little house party. And it was like the first house party I ever went to. So he was like, you can come through. You can help me hook up the equipment and everything, and I should teach you how to DJ. So I was like, that's what's up. So I started going to his crib, learning a little stuff here and there. And at the beginning, I was straight sorry. So it took time, and I started picking up stuff. And then I, got into the whole thing, collecting my own records and my own, collection of music and break beats and everything like that. That's where they get the term digging in the crates, because from there, cats would find beats and people would start rhyming and stuff. And that's when I started meeting MCs that could rhyme. And at that time, I was pretty good at listening to people and saying if they was fire or, they needed a little work. And I always liked, lyricists. I always liked MCs that could spit and drop, jewels. Because back then, if you weren't lyrical, you wasn't a good MC. And then back then, people were battling, but back then you were battling at the park, at jams, at school, at the lunch table, and MCs would go back and forth, and you would lyrically win because your rhymes was better than the other man. It had nothing to do with, talking about somebody and the clothes they wore, how the hair looked, things like that. It was lyrical. What kind of rhymes could you come up with as an MC? And back then, DJs even battled. We had back in the day where you had people like Jazzy Jeff, from Philadelphia winning a DJ contest. You had DJ Cash Money winning contests. You had DJ Qbert winning contests. So battling has always been in hip hop. So it's never nothing new. That's why it's hip hop when it comes to battle culture. And on the screen you see here is Cool DJ Red Alert, the prop master. Now that's a guy that I took my style from, as in who I emulated to be, because Red could definitely rock a crowd. He definitely could throw parties, and his music was always on beat, never off beat, wouldn't knock you out of your rhythm or anything. So I always try to emulate my style to like how he did his thing. And that was my whole DJ life. Now I'm gonna get into how I was introduced to battle rap as you people know it today. And before that, I know about battling because I used to battle as a DJ, going up against other DJs. And back then, you had the crowd would say if that person won or that person lost. And by the end of the battle, you knew who the winner was when you walked away. Today, it's a little different. But let me get into how I was introduced to battle rap as we know it today. Well, before you had the URL, you had DVDs. And on the DVDs, you had Murder Mook, you had Serious Jones, you had Loaded Lux, you had Cassidy, on these tapes. But also you had the internet. And back then, even the internet back then, YouTube had the battles up there, but you would have to piece them together because they would only be up there for a certain amount of time. They don't give you these long videos like they do today. They were chopped up into pieces. And back then we would sit around, people who were MCs and DJs, because my brother that lived right across the street from me and him would sit and watch these videos. And we would watch, Murder Mook. We would watch Cassidy. We would watch Freeway and all of them do what they do. And I definitely don't want to forget Reed Dollars. He was on a lot of DVDs back then. He was on a lot of, YouTube videos where we look him up. And then, you got to put in there, we was watching Freestyle Friday, even though that was with a beat, brothers still had lyrics and they still was fire. So we would watch those battles, and all them battles got judged. You definitely knew who this champion was and who lost and who won. You had that type of thing. Then, you had Fight Club, and you had, King of the Dot, somewhat. And you had lots of different battle organizations that you could find on YouTube back then. And then I guess, years went by, and I guess Smack and them talked to Bow Wow, and that's how they got, the URL on Freestyle Friday. And then, as we all know it, it became what we see today. And I just wanted to let y'all know and tell you this, because let y'all know my history is deep when it comes to this battle rap thing. And I say battle rap thing, I'm talking about hip hop in general. When I speak and I talk, I know what I'm talking about when I talk about who's an MC and who's not an MC, who's fire, who's not fire. I know these things when I speak these things. I'm not just talking out the side of my neck. And I watch more than just the guys, because I remember when Queen of the Ring first started and they were battling without a ring, when they were just like, I guess, in some parking lot or some back area where the girls were just going back and forth and they wasn't in the ring. So I'm telling you, I love hip hop, and battle rap is a part of hip hop, and I love lyrics, and I love MCs who spit lyrics, not gossip and all this other stuff. You know, what it needs to go back to is what people need to understand. It's about lyrics. It's about the wordplay. It's about how you deliver what you say on that stage. And I'm going to say it again, and I'm going to say it again, I'm going to say it again. In order for this battle rap to go to another level, they got to start judging these battles, and these brothers got to start having some type of records, wins and losses, so that we can understand who truly is top tier and who is just a journeyman when it comes to battle rap. And I use the journeyman line because I'm a fan of combat sports. And in combat sports, you have boxing, the UFC, and these guys don't get in the ring and fight and then never have a winner. They get judged or people get knocked out. There's a winner at the end of the night. So I say, if the URL don't take nothing else from boxing or the UFC, get some judges and judge these battles so that we can have a tier of who's the number one battle rapper by the record that he holds. Let us have a true champion with a belt, and if he goes up against another battle rapper and he loses that night, he gives up the belt, and now that person is now the champion. I say this, and as you see on the screen, you have Cassidy. To me, when it comes to battle rap, he's still the champion, because no matter what y'all say and what y'all talk about, he is always being talked about. He will always be spoken of, and he always bring energy to battle rap. So he's always going to be the ultimate winner when it comes to this battle rap thing, because you people don't understand. When he's not around, battle rap is dead as a doorknob. But when he steps in the room, the post goes up like you was on heart medication and your blood pressure was crazy high. This is what Cassidy brings to the table. But like I said before, and I give Cass some advice, but Cass gonna do what he gonna do because he's Cass and he's an alpha male. But from one alpha male to another, Cass, if I was you, I would definitely rock that joint in these volumes. If you go to UFC, go to the URL, or if you go to any other league, make it back to like hip hop used to be, where it was in a smaller group and people could listen to what you're saying and they could judge it for their own ears and not be bothered by these people booing and acting crazy and not respecting the craft of MCs. And that's what I would do. I would be like, yo, y'all want to hear me spit? Let's put this in a room. Let's do it like the MCs did it back in the day. Now I'm about to say something that is real controversial. To me, battle rappers ain't real MCs. They not. Because not one of them has ever made a hit that's on the radio, a hit that's in the clubs, a hit that's in the streets, a hit that bumps in somebody's car. None of them done this. So they need to stop disrespecting real MCs like Cass, like lots of industry rappers like Jadakiss, Fabulous, MCs that have put in work and that are solidified when it comes to hip hop. They need to start respecting that and stop playing these games, because when you dog and you try to pull down a legend like Cassidy or anybody on his level, you just make yourself look stupid. So I'm gonna end it like this. Cassidy, keep doing what you doing, and all the brothers in the real battle rap community, keep doing what y'all doing. And we keep pushing this forward to make battle rap better than it was in the past. And my thing is, we need judges. We need judges. And we need to know who the winner is, and these cats need to have records. If they ain't got no records, they ain't got no wins. This is your boy AD. I'll catch y'all later. Everybody stay safe out there. And all you ladies, grab up you a dude, and all you dudes, grab you up a lady. Go in the house, hibernate, chill, and let's relax during this crazy time as a timeout. Catch you later. Peace. And oh yeah, if you're bored and ain't got nothing to do during this time, hit me up on Instagram or check me out on my People's Podcast. Flame on.